Hey, welcome to Brain Training 101 for August 2024. We are going to focus on stress, anxiety, exhaustion, and especially as it relates to headaches. So, we are going to focus on a brain training graph that I'm going to call your attention to some of the important parameters. So let's dive in. First, let's look at the brainwave power bands. What you will notice is that the purple line, which it's off the screen, but if you have a brain training headband, you know that the purple line indicates beta. Beta is the fast processing speed in your brain. We do not want beta to be the top line on this graph, nor do we want delta, the green line, to be the top line on this graph. The green line delta is exhaustion. So, what we see on this graph is that the purple line at the beginning of the session is the highest, which means anxiety and stress is winning out. The speed that is being used the most is beta, which will make this person feel jacked up. That's their words. And will make the person feel anxious, like they're on 11. Also, their words that they're 11 out of 10. That is a way that a person describes hyper arousal in the brain. When beta is winning out, it's hyper arousal in the brain, feelings of anxiety, vigilance, feeling the need to go, go, go. It might be associated with a flight stress response, and it can lead to headaches because there's tension in the nervous system and there's a significant amount of dysregulation in the brain. So we see beta is winning out. Across the session, what we see also is that delta peaks up. So delta is the extra slow speed that it's supposed to engage when you're asleep. It helps you to stay in the sleep cycle. So across the 5-minute session, delta comes up, but it trains down. Remember, this is brain training. So delta comes up, it comes back down. We see training spikes and kind of the natural ebbing and flowing. This is at 4:02 p.m. At 4:02 p.m., many times brains are tired. They need a midday break. But here's what I want to call your attention to. Over the course of the session, we see beta decreasing, we see delta decreasing. So, this is a successful session in some of the aspects that we see here. I would like to call your attention to minutes 3:30 to 4:30. You will see as we look down where it says mind meditation, you will see this is associated with the most amount of birds. Birds are what the brain earns as the positive feedback for when it is regulating itself based upon the audio feedback that it receives. So, when we line this up to the brainwave power bands, what we see is that in the moment, the minute, in the moments, the minute that the brain achieved these birds, and on this graph, we see that the brain is in the calm state. And I'll explain that to you in a second. What we can see is that delta is lower, but it is on top. We can see the primary aspect that is helping to achieve the birds is that alpha, the blue line, the medium speed of calm goes above beta, that fast speed of anxiety. And for that minute, alpha is above beta. So I know it's only a minute in the graph, and you'll see that it happened here too at 2.5 minutes. There's a bird down here, and you can see alpha comes up and above beta. You can see there's a recovery, meaning that the brain's trying to get away, but through the feedback, it's brought back down to a calmer state. So the idea is alpha goes above beta in these moments of earning the bird the positive feedback. What we know from the science on headaches is that they stem from a brain pattern of too much beta and not enough alpha. So what we see in this graph is that for the most part, the brain is using too much beta and not enough alpha. During the training session, when the brain achieves alpha over beta, that's when the person got the birds. Now, I said, I know this is only a minute, but a minute helps the brain to regulate itself. Even a minute at a time, that adds up to stress reduction. So, even using the brain training headband for 5 minutes a day can help to reset the brain to a calmer, more focused, more refreshed mode. That's the importance of brain training. It's like a workout for your brain. You might not always feel in the moment how that regulation is happening, which is why I'm showing up here to have Brain Training 101 for you so you can learn how to use this headband at home. So here you can see alpha above beta, birds are earned, calmer state. Now let's look down here to the mind graph. In the mind graph, we see this person's brain starts in the active zone right here. 9 seconds in the active zone. Immediately it comes down into the neutral zone, which it is in for more than the calm zone, but there's times here down into the calm. Down in the calm, achieve the bird, especially here down in the calm, achieve birds. What we want to see is a downward trend on this one line from active to neutral to calm, ultimately achieving calm faster and staying in the calm zone for longer. So this person achieved 36% calm. Now, brain training is kind of like golf. We're not competing against other people, even though in golf you are sometimes. You're competing against your highest score that you've been able to achieve so far, because that is your capacity on any given day. So this person's capacity so far is 36%. So we want to see this person achieve more calm up to 40, 45%, and increasing, holding steady, and again, having that really nice downward trend, achieving more birds. So let's wrap it up. When it comes to stress and anxiety, and especially headaches, what we see is that it's a brain that's using too much beta, not enough alpha. We see that beta is the dominating speed at the beginning of this session. We see there's moments where alpha goes above beta, so the brain's in a calmer state. That's when the brain achieves birds. We know that it has a really nice downward trend. The person probably could have kept going because they're still on a downward trend. So at that point, you can increase from 5 minutes to 6, 7, 8 minutes, always achieving the downward trend. But this person's on a roll and hopefully they'll keep going 5 minutes at a time to get into that calmer state more and more and more. All right. I hope this helps you out. Brain Training 101. It is a way that you can decrease your stress, decrease your anxiety, feel and perform better, alleviate headaches. So if you struggle, get into Brain Training 101 with us here on this YouTube channel. It's free, and every month I'm going to be reviewing these graphs with you. So come back. Make sure you like and subscribe and you join this playlist so you can learn how to use your brain training headband at home. All right. Until next time, control your brain or it'll control you.